Yeah, it's weird that there were 2 fantasy anime with incredibly uncomfortable romances out this season, and surprise, both were garbage. Magic Maker essentially tried to do the incest route, got cold feet halfway through, but you can't just go back on that. I mean, you've already played your hand. The writer here was very much down with that idea before the audience and characters knew they weren't related by blood. So you're not getting away from that. That's still a pretty big problem, but I digress. A fantasy isekai without magic or bullshit skills where humans have to live by their adaptability and strength sounds like an interesting take on the genre, especially since the protagonist discovers magic from the ground up. And cool, it's physics-based, not just some magical energy that gets power through words. That's a super interesting premise. So how does it capitalize on that? That's the trick. It doesn't. The first half of this anime boils down to pure experimentation to figure magic out, but less visual and researching nature to make breakthroughs, and more something blows up in his face, then we cut to a chibi scene where he just explains what happened to the audience. That's lazy. And the closest I got to a sense that this dude was actually making progress was when he realized he wasn't dealing with magical energy directly, but magic-infused air. So really, this anime started off okay, and then fell off a damn cliff in terms of writing. I was even impressed at first with how disturbing their take on goblins were, until later episodes just go with a more typical appearance. Yeah, I'm sure if I wanted to come up with a justification, the dude's older and he doesn't find them as scary, so they're just not as scary, right? That's giving this way too much credit, considering newer and scarier monsters later on don't pack that same punch. Basically, they did a good amount of build-up, and then killed the monster vibe for these creatures early on. As for animation, Studio Dean, another failed fantasy anime. Between this, Banished Former Hero, and Remonster, you've been dropping the ball. Now, most of the drawn stuff here looks fine, but the CG is definitely out of place. So what elements this series does well were squandered early on. That's why I'm saying it's not worth a look.